What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Saturday, July 5th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. She has been a multimedia journalist for several years. She is now working under the company of Univision. She is based out of Boston, where she also graduated college from the University of Massachusetts. Her name is Rosabri Mejia. And we're going to talk to her about her why and get to know her outside of her occupation. So, without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Rosa Bree.
Hello.
Hello there. How you doing, Rosa Bree?
Good. I'm so sorry for today. I was like very confused, and then I was like, no, that's my time. And then, but I'm glad that I made it for you. Do you
No.
prefer the horizontal, or you would prefer like?
Oh, no, no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Long as I can see you, you absolutely good. You look absolutely lovely today. I just want to say that
Thank
first
you.
off. You're very welcome. I also want to say thank you for allocating your time to me by coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate it. How was your holiday? How was your fourth? How has your week been going?
It's been good, I would say. First, thank you for the opportunity, and this is the first time I'm doing something like this because I usually am the other in your spot
Mm-hmm.
usually. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but thank you so much. It's been good. I was working the whole week, including yesterday, July 4th. So,
Wow. Okay. Well, hardworking woman. I respect that. I like that a lot. Rosa Bree, how do you say your last name, first of all?
Mejia.
Mejia. Okay, so I figured that's why I was, but I wanted to make sure I had the right pronunciation for it. I want to first tell you why I wanted to have you on here before I start asking you all these questions. And the reason why is that we're both reporters. I'm my genre is sports, and your genre is news. I've been doing journalism for the past 7 years. Started in Atlanta, Georgia, and now I'm here in Minnesota doing reporting as well. So I do sports from high school, college, and professional. I'm a freelancer now, but I worked in different publications in Atlanta, Georgia, and also here in Minnesota. Just did the Super Bowl this past year for a network. So I know you're out there at Univision, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. And you do multimedia journalism there, and I know you're based out of Boston. And I love talking to different reporters about their why, right? Like you said, we don't have much of an opportunity to sit down and talk like this and talk about our stories because we're so used to getting the stories.
Yes.
So it's a platform that I like to build and let different media people in different media jobs come on and talk about their why of getting into their jobs because everybody has a story to tell. Everybody's story is unique of how they've gotten into this industry, and your story is just as special, Rosa Bree, as anybody else's. So that's why I wanted to have you on here today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that you consider myself for this because, yeah, a lot of reporters, especially immigrants reporter from other countries to the United States, we have
Mhm.
usually we don't have like a very easy pattern to follow. It's a lot of barriers
Right.
we have to break, and I have a lot of respect for those who open the doors for us, and a lot of respect for those that continue trying to achieve or achieve their goals in this industry in the United States, even though our main language is not English.
Absolutely, no doubt. And that's where I kind of want to start is I want to kind of start with the first question. And the first question is basically the same question that I ask everybody on here that comes on my podcast. And that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models and inspirations growing up? What is your why of getting into the journalism industry?
So I don't want to sound arrogant, but unfortunately, I cannot think as a child having a role model to be a journalist. Why?
Mhm.
Because in my country, I never saw nobody in on TV that looks like me, even though most of the people in Dominican Republic look like me, that we have the same skin color. So or
Sure.
similar skin color. So in that sense, I didn't have a role model, and I did it as a revelry, as being a rebel. I said, okay, like I want to be on TV, but I don't see nobody that looks like me. I'm not from a rich family. I'm not rich myself. So I see that people that are on, like, whether delivering the news or even the commercials, they are
Mhm.
people that didn't look like me. They look,
Right.
yeah, they look totally different. And I always have that why. I was like, why I don't see people that looks like me? And then I had I later on I was figuring out that, you know what, probably it's not a place for me. But then I was the one who was doing the intros in the school shows or in the school events. I was
Okay.
the one
Okay.
that was free to talk to media or whatever that looks like a microphone in my house. I make it and look like a microphone and make out my own TV show, imaginary TV show probably. And
Hmm.
I remember when I was probably like 9 year old, my dad asked whether my godfather or somebody else to provide a microphone. And I used to have this little radio show in the afternoons. Because
Hmm.
in my country at that time, whether you go to school in the morning or you go into school in the afternoon. So I usually go in the morning. So the afternoon I'll
Okay.
have some like free time.
Yeah.
So I got that microphone and I play like whatever radio station. And the second they start playing some music that I recognize, I put a stop and I introduce the music that is gonna play, and I have my little like imaginary radio show for the neighborhood.
Okay.
So I
Hmm.
always have that little like interest in media, but like I didn't understand much about what to do for me to be in media. Then
Hmm.
I went to college. And start the architectural major. My dad is an architect, but then
Okay.
after several semesters, I found out that was not my thing.
That was not for you, huh?
No, it was not.
Okay. 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 I like that.
And then there was a professor that then, like, when you change the college I used to go in Dominican Republic, when you change your major, you had to go to a whole process. And one
Mm.
of the processes that you had to meet with some like advisors.
Okay.
And one of my advisors and also one of my teachers, my professors in college, he says, I am not going to sign that paper because the only way I can do that is if you pursue the journalism major.
Wow.
And it's because he know me from my old town, my hometown, because over there I used to be a reporter um, from a cultural TV show. And
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make. I don't want you to waste your time. The only way I can sign this is for a journalism major, and
Okay.
that's why I said, okay, let's try it. And then here I am.
Okay. No, I love that. That's a pretty cool story, Rosabri. That really is. I love that. The fact that you was doing like makeup shows as you was a little kid growing up in the DR, and we definitely gonna have some questions about the DR because I'm
Mhm.
fascinated about that. I definitely want to go there. I've never been there before, so I definitely have a question about that. But we'll get into that a little later. But you talked about going to college. If
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken, you went to the University of Massachusetts in Boston.
Yes,
And then you got your master's at Emerson College
I
as
did.
well. Talk to me about the choice to go to University of Massachusetts in Boston. You know, I'm not sure when you came over to the States, but
Mhm.
was Boston, as far as Massachusetts, your first state that you came into from the DR?
Yes, because
Okay.
believe it or not, even before I used to come here as a visitor, I have some relatives in New York, in Boston.
Hmm.
But like, believe it or not, my hometown is very well connected to Boston because most of the people from the Dominican Republic that live in Boston are from Bani, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
So as a community, we are connected with this city, like years ago, for decades, I would say. Um,
Wow.
and then when I went to college in Dominican Republic, it was like at the transition of journalism and the internet. So traditionally,
Hmm.
I went to a traditional journalist school in La Universidad Autónoma de Santo Domingo. And
Right.
over there, they give you, you know, all the good training. To me, was like, is if it's not the best, it's one of the best journalism programs in the whole Caribbean. And I am very glad because I get a very good training over there. But it was not a lot of training for the journalism today.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because I know that in United States, the way they do journalism was totally different than the one in Dominican Republic. I had to get
Sure.
retrain, and then I went to the University of Massachusetts, and then it was not enough. And one of my people was saying like, "Oh, you should go to Emerson," and I was like, "Okay, but like I have a bachelor, like what can I do in Emerson?" Then there was like a journalism master program, which to me was very interesting, and I did. I did after I had my two children, so it was fast. It was like they have this program to do it like
In a year.
no, I think it's like a year and a half type
Year
of
and a
thing.
half.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And also I learned a lot of like the new techniques for the journalism today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely worth it as far, I mean, like if you go to Emerson for your bachelor, it's good enough. But if you have a traditional journalism training, so having a master's degree is going to be very beneficial as far as because right now the journalism is changing every single day. So
No question. No question about that. Absolutely. Were there any other schools that you were considering outside of University of Massachusetts being your school that you would get your bachelor's at?
um, I was also money wise, like I said, I'm not a rich person. So
Mm-hmm.
money wise, definitely it was a pattern. Needless to say that in Dominican Republic, my college was actually for free for me and everybody else, pretty much.
Okay. I
Yeah,
like that.
it's very, very affordable, extremely affordable.
Okay.
So over here, trying to find something, first of all, to enhance my English, and that it cannot cost me a lot of money, which it did, but it was less than if I go to a private one. But
Right.
definitely, I was considering BU. I mean, I'm telling you, like years ago, used to have this good program that I was interested in, and it was scientific journalism.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that was one of them. I was like, oh, you know what, like, but price wise, it was like out of my budget. And plus, like, if you don't get chosen to be in the program, then that's gonna be holding me back. So,
Absolutely.
but like in Massachusetts, we have a lot of schools that provides journalism or communications degree.
Mm-hmm.
I also did the communications degree because it gives you a lot of flexibility. So you can work as in the PR side or you can work in journalism. From day one, I noticed that I am a journalism side, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
had
good.
I had to recognize that good money is in public relations. As a reporter, you probably know that.
Yes, absolutely. No question. I've had some friends that have graduated with journalism degrees and they've actually went on to stop doing journalism and went to PRs and different firms and stuff like that. I have a master's degree as well. I achieved that this particular year in professional writing because teaching is also something I wouldn't mind doing, especially for journalism. So I wouldn't mind getting back into school and doing that. I think the subject I would like to teach is interviewing because I love to interview. I love to talk to people. I love to get to know people if that wasn't already obvious by now. So yeah, I do love to do that for sure. Um, Rosa Bree, I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions, and you just give me the 411 off the rip and based upon these questions, okay? So here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
That I like to cook. Oh my God. Um, okay, so when times provides me flexibility, I like
Okay.
cooking Dominican food.
Okay.
So I like doing sancocho, which is one of the main Dominican course. It's like a thick soup with usually made with we put like meat, maybe cow. I mean, how you say cow in English?
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Like
Yeah,
beef or
beef,
something like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
I was thinking
absolutely.
in Spanish like carne de vaca. Yeah, we put beef, but you can make it with any other meat that you would like. We put like platanos, plantain,
Yep.
yuca, and it's like a stew, but then you add the yuca and all that, with some spices, herbs for flavor,
Okay.
and you made it. You can do like a garnishing with white rice, usually.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. That sounds pretty good, Rosabri. You know, when I do come back out there to Boston, I might have to hit you up.
Oh yes, yes. And then
Absolutely.
when I don't have that much time and my kids are hungry, I can do like a quick Italian pasta, or
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm huge into pasta. But my favorite thing to cook is probably tacos, and that's
Mhm.
because you can whip it up pretty fast. I like
Yes.
chicken, I like steak, and also like turkey ground beef
Mhm.
tacos. So I like that for sure. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh, favorite concert. Lately, I've been coming to a lot of concerts, and it's because population in Boston has been changing a lot, and we
Hmm.
can see a lot of like Latinos singers coming to town. Um, that's a hard one, but I can say Luis Miguel is one of he's a Mexican, well, born in Puerto Rico, but like is known as Mexican,
Hmm.
and he's very famous in in the Latin community. He has this
Sure.
tour last year, and I brought my mom, and to me that was an amazing concert. Another concert that I like is that I really like, it was for like the old school. I brought my mom, and it's from a Spanish singer called Rafael.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I think those are like concerts that to me that were like wow, like you can see like the high quality of singer, like
Hmm.
vocally, they entertaining. It was really good. Yeah, I can say like recently like those things, and no, because then I will be biased. Is These Venezuelan brothers, Servando and Florentino. They used to
Hmm.
be like my crush when I was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
they go to Dominican Republic a couple of times, and then but then like for so long they put a stop in their career. 2 years ago they get a reunion, and then they came
Hmm.
to Boston, which is very unusual. So I went there, and I see a lot of people of my age.
Mm,
And
okay.
we were like, thinking about we were teenagers and all that, and it was good.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. That's pretty good. I like all kinds of music. Not gonna lie to you about that. But the first concert that really, especially the Hispanic, I should say Hispanic concert that really hit me to the core was Ozuna. When I
Yeah.
saw Ozuna live, I was like, wow, that's pretty. He's pretty good. I was like, okay, I like that. But the next concert that I saw all the ladies go crazy, Rosabri, was when Romeo Santos.
Oh, please, yes.
When he came out, all the ladies went
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, just every single lady in the crowd. And I only know that because I was doing event security. I was doing event security for the concert, and my position was right by the stage. And these ladies were bum rushing the stage. They were trying to run on stage to get him.
Yes.
And I knew the band Aventura. I
Mhm.
knew that because that was his group, but I
Yes.
didn't know him as a solo artist. But he put on quite a show too. But I just
Yes.
knew the ladies was just going crazy for him.
And actually, he did. No, he did a couple of serial concerts, and they were sold out. Like three days in a row, sold out.
Hmm.
I mean, like usually when he has, or Aventura has a concert in Boston,
Hmm.
that's sold out. I can say yes, that was a good concert too. And one that I say, oh my god, like I can do it like every single month is one of the main Dominican singers is Juan Luis Guerra.
Oh.
So for some reason, it was kind of hard for me to like get to get in one of his concerts because it was he doesn't sing here very often, even though he went to Berkeley. Um,
Hmm.
but I was like, you know what? The next time he's in town, I'm gonna probably do my best and try to be there. And no, it was not possible. But then last time he was in Boston performing was in 2019, and I went there with my mother. And to me, that was an epic concert because I am a fan, and
Love it.
two because it was absolutely great, and three because my mom. I know she will like that. And
Hmm.
I am a merengue singer, and I mean, not singer, I'm a merengue dancer, 1,000%. And to
Okay.
me, that was very, very nice.
So te gusta bailar?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. 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 Poquito hablo español.
Ah,
Mm.
nice. Qué bueno.
Yeah. See. I like that. That's what's up. I would say my favorite concerts though are Alicia Keys.
Mhm.
The Weeknd is
Wow.
another good one. I love R&B music.
Mhm.
I love people who are like passionate with that, so I like that type of vibe for sure. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
That's like that's another tough one. I would say Paris.
Oh, okay. Was that a
Yes.
family trip? Or was that a girls trip? What
Yeah,
kind of
no,
trip
that
was
was
that?
a family trip. It was Paris. One, because one was a dream come true. I've been there twice, and I am happy and welcome to go as many times as possible because it's a city that always has something to offer. Um, but also, yeah, that's one of my favorite places. I also like Italy, the
Yeah.
northern part of Italy.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm not gonna say Dominican Republic because that's gonna be very unfair because I'll be super biased. But yes,
Sure, sure.
they have many beautiful beaches. People are very kind. So yeah.
Yeah. So my family, my dad is actually planning a cruise to go to the Dominican Republic next year. That's why a little later in this episode, we're definitely going to talk about the Dominican Republic. I've never been there. I would say Paris and Italy is definitely two places on my bucket list that I would love to go
Mhm.
to. Jamaica was my favorite though when I went to Jamaica. Definitely love that vibe. Definitely love the food. Love the beaches. Love the scenery. The Bahamas was pretty good too. Went on a cruise last year to both of those places, so that was pretty amazing for sure.
The Caribbean is always a good idea.
No
You
question, no
cannot go
question.
wrong going to the Caribbean.
Hello, I'm with you on that, Rosabri. No doubt, no doubt. Okay, I'm a sports person, so I got to ask you a sports favorite question. Okay, this is a
Mhm.
two-parter. Favorite sport that you like to watch on TV. Favorite sport that you like to go see in person.
Soccer.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. You got a favorite team?
I have a few favorite teams. Um,
Okay.
I like. I'm a Barca fan from Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona is also like a cool city. Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know two of those three. I know Barcelona and I know Inter Milan, but I didn't know that second one. But yes, very fond of the sport soccer. I do love soccer. Obviously, being in the United States, I do follow the MLS. Obviously, Messi being in Miami, he's my favorite player. So I love Messi, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Um, I would say in Dominican Republic we play baseball, and I
Hmm.
born and raised pretty much surrounded by baseball, and I love baseball as well. But it's just like to be in the baseball stadium. It's kind
Hmm.
it's a slow sport for to watch.
Oh yeah, it gets boring. There's no question about it. It's like watching paint dry. So I understand. I mean, it's you out there, you just sitting, and nobody's doing anything. Everybody's standing around.
Yeah.
Half the time, if you're not close, you can't see when the ball is being pitched or anything like that. But I do like the baseball playoffs.
Hmm.
When the playoffs come around, you get the really good teams going
Yeah.
against the really good teams.
Hmm.
So that's exciting. I do like that for sure, seeing that in person. But I'm a huge Americano football person on TV. I like to watch that on TV and basketball in person. I love me some I think in Spanish it's called baloncesto.
Balance.
Baloncesto. Yeah, so
So
that's me. That's
I'm
me.
a Red Sox girl and I'm a Celtics girl. Don't get me wrong, cause
Mm.
but
Mm-mm.
watching on TV, definitely like basketball, you can watch it. You know, it's very fast paced. Sports, barely you get bored. Baseball, I prefer watching on TV.
Yes, me too. Me too. Absolutely. No question. God bless your heart for being a Red Sox and a Celtics fan. I'm actually a Lakers fan and a Padres fan. because I grew up in California.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, those are my teams. But that's what's up. I like that. I like that. I like a woman who likes sports. That's awesome, no doubt. Last of the favorites. Favorite place that you like to eat at? I'm a huge foodie, so I love to go to different places. So next time I come to Boston, which is going to Logan Airport, I believe, I want to know where exactly should I go to get something to eat.
Like I said, Boston has been changing a lot, which is good. Uh,
Hmm.
there is like a lot of, it's getting very diversity. A lot of like Hispanic people from several countries are moving here. They're
I
opening
love it.
business. But food in here, hmm, it depends. So if you have for Italian food, there is a neighborhood called North End,
Okay,
and that's like the Italian settlement in Boston. If you're looking for Dominican food, Jamaica Plain is a neighborhood in Boston that is
I like that.
a
Okay,
lot of Dominican food in there.
yes.
Um, but yes, I mean, if you went also in the not exactly Boston, but like a part of Massachusetts where we have the the seashore, you can find some good places with usually in the South Shore for seafood in
Hmm.
the Cape Cod area. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I don't believe it or not, I don't have a favorite restaurant in Boston.
Got you. Okay. Okay. No, listen, I love Mexican. I love Hispanic, I should say. Hispanic food, Italian food are my two favorites. I'm huge into like the curry stuff. So any kind of curry type of stuff or jerk chicken, anything like that, I'm with it. I want to try it for sure. So, like I said, next time I'm there in Boston, I'm definitely gonna try out the North End, and I'll definitely have to say what's up to you. That's for sure.
Yes, yes, please do so. Actually, I would say Brazilian food in Boston,
Mhm.
something like because it's similar to Dominican food, and I like not barbecue, but like I like grill stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have asaderos, same thing like Argentinian. Unfortunately, we don't have that many Argentinian people or restaurants in Boston.
Right.
But Brazilian people, Brazilian restaurants, they have very good asaderos and their food are amazing. Like if you go to a Brazilian place, I don't think one can go wrong with food.
Okay. I appreciate that, Rosabri. I appreciate that. Let's talk about your day to day. As
Mhm.
you know, as a journalist, and I do know as a journalist as well, our day to days are never the same. Obviously, as a freelancer, sometimes we
Mhm.
go days and sometimes maybe even weeks without work. But when I was in the thing every day, going to different stations and covering different stations and publications and covering things every day, my stories will be different. I'll be covering a different game. I'll be doing a different interview, just something different every day, which is what I love as a journalist. I love the fact that I'm not sitting at a desk 9 to 5 doing the same thing every single day. That would bore the hell out of me. I'm I'm not sure if that would bore you, but it definitely would bore me.
Yes.
Talk to me about your process of, coming up with stories. What time do you normally work? Do you have a strange time? Because some journalists work strange hours, have strange days off. Talk to me about your process of getting ready day to day, going to cover stories at Univision.
Knock on wood, this is a job that I love doing, but at the same time, it's a blessing because, as you may know, journalism is not a field for parents. If you are raising a child and
Mm,
working in news, you have to have a very strong network because journalism, at least not, I would say journalism, news is not a business hour job.
no, it's not.
So it's you whether work in the middle of the night or you work until very late at night.
Right.
But yeah, this job allows me to have a very good balance between being a mother, raising my children, and also working in what I love. Um, I work. Our news is at 6 and 11, and unless that something major happen, I can probably be further. I mean, past 6 p.m. My mom lives with us, and to me, that's a huge blessing because I do what I do because she's allowed to, whenever I need it, watch my children.
Sure.
Another thing good that they're growing, but when they were little, that was one of the barriers that I have and the questions that I have. How can I do this?
Right.
So coming like probably in the morning, getting ready, getting them ready for school, getting myself ready. And I start like, I like to go to bed early, but sometimes I make some extra efforts and watch what's happening in the nighttime news.
Absolutely.
So that can give me an idea what's going on for the next day. If something big is happening, probably we're gonna do a follow-up on that. So I wake up very early and I start looking for what's going on in the area.
Okay.
We have to, because we serve mainly the Hispanic communities, we had to find topics that are relevant for our audience.
Sure.
We deliver it in Spanish, of course. So I look for what's going on. I also like to, because we are limited in resources, so we are not a 24/7 news organization. So we do a lot of community
News.
yeah.
Okay.
We have good connections with communities, organizations, trying to, be as informative as possible, especially those newly arrived or those people that they have challenges with English and they cannot go to an English channel and see what's going on. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, I like that. I do. I like that a lot. And I like the fact that you brought up obviously being a mom, obviously having your mother there, and shout out to your mother. I bet she's an amazing woman, just like you are.
Thank
You're very welcome. But it also brings up a great segue to this question, and that's mental health and
you.
work-life balance. Mental health is very important. It's starting to kind of be highlighted now, especially in our industry. A lot of journalists have left our industry because of mental health,
Yes.
but also work-life balance. Like I said, you're working in news, which news is nonstop. It's all the time, and you're also a mom, right? So and obviously that's a very difficult thing to kind of balance out all the time, because sometimes you do get breaking news, you do get things that happen that are like, wow, we need you at the station, or we need you to report on this, right? So tell me, how do you keep a strong mental health but also keep work-life balance as well, and not feel like you are burnt out?
I treat myself a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
You took a deep breath on that one.
Um, it's tough.
Okay.
It is tough. It is tough.
Sure.
But I think having like small vacation, short staycation. So, I mean, budget wise, we had to be mindful because as a journalist, we don't make a lot of money.
Right.
But having those little moments, like request some days off now and then, disconnect
Okay.
a little bit of a Boston, especially in the winter, which is boring and cold in here. Having like a quick getaway to my native country, which is like a 4-hour direct flight from here. On a long weekend, that helps a lot. Also, having like a strong support, like family wise. A lot of journalists, they have to leave their hometown, go elsewhere where they don't know nobody, and I believe that should be very, very tough. Also to do like an internal balance of how many red stories I'm covering, because that was a time that I was covering a lot of crimes, a lot of red notes. And my children, I had the blessing that they come, and when we meet at nighttime, or not at nighttime, but when we meet at home after they're done with school and I'm done with work, they ask me, "Oh, what's the story today? What was this today?" And I said, "Oh, it's a good one, or it's like an okay one." And I try to let them understand what it was. And some
Right.
they told me like, oh my God, like if probably I don't realize that I've been telling them several times that it's been, I mean, several days, not so good news. They say, oh my God, you report a lot on bad news. So that's a wake up call for me.
Sure.
So
No question. No question. And I love the fact of what you brought up because I'm one of those reporters, right? I left Atlanta, Georgia is where my mom, uncle, and aunt they live now. My dad lives in the Northeast where you are. He lives in New York.
cool.
I'm here in Minnesota by myself, but I was chasing a dream of trying to become a better reporter and learn more and continue to learn more and grow as I do ascend to my next market. But I had to leave family. And I'm a huge family person. I'm a huge mama's boy. I call moms all the time to check on her to make sure that she's doing okay if she needs anything. And I do the same with my dad as well. But it's real. It definitely is real because, when you don't have any family around, especially as huge family person I am, you do need those vacations a little bit to get away a little bit and kind of break away from the news. You brought up another great point, which was the hard news. Kind of why I steered away from that and went to sports, and not to say that sports don't have difficult stories because they do, especially when teams lose and you have some of the high schoolers that cry. And when they lose and their season ends, it's tough. It's tough to interview them because the team would never be the same. And some of those are seniors. Some of those teammates are going to leave and go off to college, and team would just never be the same. So all you have is the memories. Tell me, in a bonus kind of question that I have for you, is it hard for you to separate yourself from hard news? Because as you said, sometimes you come home and your kids ask you about it. But when you do those hard news stories of a shooting or a robbery or a burning house or any kind of just tragic news, is it hard for you to separate it once you come home?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I try to avoid when it's something tragic involving a child.
Mhm.
So that hurts me a lot. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I have to report on that a couple of times.
Yeah,
And it is, I mean, like, it's very shocking. Like, I know that
yeah.
happened recently was a tragedy in my country with where the roof of a popular nightclub um, tore down.
Wow.
So, and hundreds of people, they died right there. One of
Hmm.
the merengue singers right there, he lost his life in
Right.
tragedy. And also like like around, I don't know exactly, but around like 9 or 10 people from my town, people that
Hmm.
they went to that concert and they lost their life over there. So for me to report on that, even from the distance, it is very hard.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. I mean, like I said, I commend you. You deserve your flowers. Rosa Bree, a lot of times, another reason why I do a podcast like this is because people only see, right, the beautiful face, the beautiful lady like yourself on TV reporting
Thank
the news, right?
you.
You're very welcome. But they see you on TV. They see you through the camera lens, right? You say 6 p.m., 11 p.m. They see you, but they don't know the behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is they don't know all the work that you do behind the scenes to prepare yourself for that. They don't know what goes into the day-to-day grind of getting those stories together. They don't know what you have to deal with outside of work, right? People just don't know because all they see is the finished product. You at 6 and you at 11 p.m.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why I wanted to also create this platform is that people need to know that this is a wonderful industry to be in. I love journalism. I feel like this is my calling. You feel like it's your calling,
Yeah.
but you gotta know the A side and the B side. You got to know both sides. And you got to be able to also not just know it, but also understand that this is what your life is going to be like. And if you
Mhm.
want to dive into it, that's great. But make sure you have 10 toes down, both feet in it. Like you cannot have one foot in, one foot out in this
Mhm.
industry. And there's a misconception sometimes that, man, she must have it glamorous. She's getting her makeup done. She's on TV. She's doing this. And it's not like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm glad that you talk about it because it is easy in this industry for people to like, I don't know how to say in English, but basically like
Assume.
perder el piso, like thinking that they are the stars and
Right.
everything revolves around them. So
Right.
if your goal is to, what I tell people, like young people, like if your goal is to become famous, to become a star, the center of attraction, probably journalism is not the right place because
Absolutely.
about you is about others, always about others. And
Right.
one of my, I love this field so much that, as you mentioned earlier, one of my later on goals in life would be to teach journalism. Uh,
Hmm.
one, especially because there is not many Spanish-speaking journalist teachers in college here, and also
Right.
journalists, journalism teacher, professors of colors.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. Yes.
and that also can create probably a misconception or a disconnect between those people that, or those fellows that they dream to be in this field.
Hmm.
They feel threatened by social media. They feel threatened because they don't see people that they look like them on TV. So
Right.
it's a lot of barriers that we still have to overcome, but definitely not impossible. So
No, and I'm glad you brought that up before I get to the next question. There's not a whole lot of us minorities,
yeah.
and especially minority women. And especially being in sports.
Mhm.
I wish there was more minorities in sports. I wish there was more minority women in sports, but I also wish there was minority women in just reporting. We need that. We
Mhm.
need to see people need to have a belief that it's not just the same ethnicity that they're seeing on TV all the time. Because you want to be relatable to all ethnicities because there's different things going on in different cultures. And you
Yeah.
need people to report on that. You need pillars in the community to report on that and talk about that because that's the only way that you can bring awareness
Yeah.
to a situation is to have relatable people in those positions to talk about it that can relate to you. So, yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I really do because that's so true. And I can definitely see you being a teacher. I certainly can see that. That's for sure. Um, but again, it's a great segue because now I want to say advice. What is some advice that you would give someone, not just of color, but anyone that wants to join the journalism industry and do the same things that you're doing? What kind of advice would you give them?
Put your feet on the door. Put your feet on the door and don't be afraid because everything, not only journalism, but everything is changing. So if you say that, oh, I'm not going to do this because probably that's not a lot of money there or not a lot of opportunities, so probably you're not going to do anything. You're not going to achieve anything because a lot of things, a lot of fields are changing and will continue to change. Just to put your foot on the door. And there is a program, probably you're familiar with that. It's called Report for America.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
that was one of my options if I
Mm.
have children. That's a
Okay.
that's a great a great opportunity for emerging journalists. Um,
Hmm.
and the mission is amazing that they say it's probably not gonna be the best paid and it's not gonna be the most glamorous city, but that the beauty of that program is that people can go to the underserved communities and report over there and tell what's going
Wow.
on there.
Okay.
So I came across to that when I went to Emerson, and I was like, you know what? If I could do that from the distance, I wouldn't think about that twice. Um,
Right. You wouldn't hesitate. Absolutely.
ex-
Absolutely.
exactly. So um, people that wants to experience journalism, and probably they may think that it's hard to get in. That's another options that they can explore. Let me see what else. And,
Yeah, I always talk about. I mean, two organizations I always talk about that I'm involved in is NAHJ and NABJ, and I
mhm.
don't I don't know. So you know about those? Okay, so I'm definitely. I went last year to NABJ, which was in Chicago. That's the one that Trump came to, which was quite interesting. So I went there. I'm not gonna go to this one this year, which is in Cleveland. I'm gonna miss that unfortunately, but the following year, NABJ is in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'll definitely be going to that one. But NAHJ, I planned on going to this year, but got derailed a little bit because I got sick earlier in the year. So I'm still kind of in the recovery process of that. But this year, I have a lot of friends that's going to NAHJ, which is in Chicago this year.
Yes.
Is that something that you're involved in?
Yes. That's another one. Get connected in the journalism groups,
Yeah.
and also, oh my God, is a Society of Professional Journalism. I think it's
Oh, SPJ, SPJ.
S,
Yes,
and also CPJ, Committee for Professional Journalism, something like that.
absolutely.
So those are great. And if the people in college can follow that in social media and see their job, that's going to be that's going to create a huge impact. But yeah, NSJ, NBJ, those are great organizations. Also to like approach to the public services or public media, um,
Yeah,
public radio, public TV, your local TV. If your dream is to be on TV, start with your local town, because most of
absolutely.
the towns has this local shows, or not shows, channels that I think is great, because if you can have a little space where you can express yourself or inform your community about what's going on, that's a great opportunity that usually people from countries where I come from, we don't have that luxury of having these public towns, TV or radio, where we can, experiment how to be a journalist and explore that field. So this is an advantage that a lot of people in the United States have.
Absolutely.
That's another one. And they have a very good equipment. Trust me. Like sometimes they're my alleys. I love those little towns
Hmm.
channels, because they cover pretty much everything. And then since I
Hmm.
told that we are not at 24/7, I asked them, oh, can I use, because that's public, that's for the community. Oh, can I
Sure.
use these clips, or can you please share such and such a clip? I give them
Hmm.
credit. Sometimes they say, oh, don't worry about it, just take it. And they have amazing cameras, amazing production crew, amazing signal, and
Mm.
they're very professional. And I think it's a good experience that um, emerging or new journalists can explore.
I love that. I love that. That's a pretty good answer. That's what's up. Rosabri, we have reached the portion of the podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. It's a game that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's pretty simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Rosabri, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, if you had to choose, which restaurant would you rather eat at? Popeyes or KFC?
Probably KFC.
Okay, okay, I'm with you on that. Now, do you eat chicken wings?
I do.
Okay, so which flavor would you rather put on a chicken wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
You sure?
I like the plain, but okay. Like probably barbecue.
Okay, okay, I got you. Okay, do you like so you like your wings dry as opposed to wet?
Yeah.
Okay, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in, my dear.
Okay, a dry bone-in wing. You don't put no sauce on it though? No sauce?
No. If it's
Okay.
good, to season it good to cook it, you don't need anything else.
Oh, okay. I need to try some of your wings, please. Straight up. I like that. I normally put a little bit of sweet baby Ray sauce, which is
Mhm.
barbecue. That's the brand. I normally put a little bit of something on that. But hey, if you can whip it up with where it's seasoning that good, where I won't have to have no sauce on it. I'm gonna try some of that. I'm gonna
Well,
have to try.
you're talking about like fried wings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's well seasoned, I like it like that. Or we can, in Dominican Republic, people like it with ketchup. Or if I'm gonna put something on it, like They put like ketchup in it. But barbecue sauce would be a good one, and sweet and sour. If you make me choose, like probably sweet and sour. But if
Okay.
real one, nothing, just like that.
Okay. I'm with you on that. That's what's up. These next 5 questions have to do with music concerts that you rather attend. So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Ozuna or Romeo Santos?
Romeo.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather see Carlos Santana or would you rather see Wishing y Yandel?
Excuse me, Carlos Santana. We sing Yandel, Carlos Santana.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they're together. I think didn't they split? Don't get me wrong. When I was a young adult,
Uh-huh.
dance a lot was Trakata and all these like Wisin y Yandel music. So
Mhm. I'm listening. You was like, duh. That's the face that you gave me. Like, what? Okay. Listen. I'm a huge Wishing E Yandel fan. I love their music. No doubt about it. I'm not sure if they split up or not. Um, I'm not in tune to that, but I do like their music.
yes.
Yes. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 30s, you know. So that's just me. That's my music. That's my vibe. Here's the next um concert. Which concert would you rather go to? Chris Brown or Usher?
Asher.
Okay. Okay. I like that. You are very decisive. I like that. Last of the concerts. Which concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Boys to Men or New Edition? Oh no. Please don't tell me you don't know either group.
No, I say boys to men.
Oh, you said Boys to Men. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't even hear you.
I would say like if you say like, oh my god, if you're gonna say boys to men or Backstreet Boys, that's gonna be a tough one. But like, okay, boys to men.
You say Boys to Men or Backstreet Boys would have been tough?
Yes,
Oh, oh wow. Oh, so you are a Backstreet Boys fan.
absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Okay. What's your favorite Backstreet Boys song?
Oh my god, Millennium. No, Millennium was the album,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. But I love I Want It That Way. Um,
Yeah.
I
Pretty
love
good.
Complete when they regroup again after many years.
Hmm.
So
I like everybody. Everybody. That's my
everybody, yes.
yeah. That's my song. I like that. Okay, that's what's up. Right. And you know they are coming back. They're just coming back to Vegas. That's what they're doing right now. But yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's like way too far and too much. I get it. But yes, no doubt. Which sport, if you had to choose, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or hockey?
Basketball. I don't understand.
Okay. You say you don't understand hockey.
No.
Okay. I'm okay. Are you willing to learn? Because I'm willing to teach you if you're willing to
Yes,
learn.
yes, definitely. Yeah,
Okay. Got you. Because you listen, you're in Boston. I mean, the Bruins are pretty important there in
exactly.
Boston. So, you know, I'm definitely willing to teach you if you're willing to learn. So, no
We
doubt.
the Bruins have won the Stanley Cup several times. It's like a long history in that, but unfortunately, like I rather watch the Celtics than the Bruins.
Okay. I feel that. I respect that. I would too. I would pick basketball as well. Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton or
Yeah.
like
Yes.
the one that you that have like the little stuff, it's like como boliche.
Hmm. The one that has the birdie that you got to hit up in the air over the net.
That's badminton. And then the other one is like the one that you roll the huge heavy ball.
Yes.
Probably bowling.
Okay. Are you a good bowler?
No.
You didn't even blink a second eye on that one. You was like, no, I'm not good. Do you need the bumpers?
I'm sorry?
Do you need the bumpers, like the bumpers to help you out in bowling?
No, because it's gonna be very likely that I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss the hit.
Okay. 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 I got you. That's okay. That's all right. You know, that's just not your sport. And that's all right.
Yeah.
Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna name 4 categories of desserts. You
Mhm.
have to choose one of these categories that you will never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. The first one is ice cream. The next one is candy. The next one is cake slash pies. So they're combined. The last one is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. You are doing your thing right now, Rosabri. You are. I'm telling you, girl, you're gonna make me blush. Do you know how hard that is with this pigmentation? My goodness. I would have said candy too. I would have said candy too. What's your favorite ice cream?
I like pistachio.
Got you, got you. Okay, okay. I think I have a couple people say that ice cream before. I cannot have those because I'm allergic to nuts, but I love cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is one of my favorites. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
Yeah.
Okay, same format. I'm going to name 4 brands. You got to choose one of these brands that you're going to get rid of. Never eat again. So here we go. The first one is Doritos. The next one is Lay's. The third one is Pringles. The last one is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Doritos.
Okay. Okay. Doritos is gone. Bye bye. Okay. What's your favorite potato chip?
um, I'm not a big fan, but there is one that isn't. Hmm, I think it's Cape Cod or something. It's a local one.
Oh, Cape Cod. Is it kettle? Those kettle chips?
Yeah, yeah.
God bless your heart. That's all I can say. I can't do it. First time I ever tried a kettle chip, I almost spit it out. I almost did. It was that bad. It was that horrible. The only other chip that's worse than that is Funyuns. I don't
Mm,
know who wanted to create Funyuns and say that was a good chip, but whoever did that, they need to slap themselves twice because that is no good. It's no bueno. That
no,
ain't good.
I don't
I
know how
feel
my
you.
little one likes that. He goes like, cause where the school that he goes to across is like a convenience store, and he goes,
Mhm.
"Mom, do you have some cash so I can go some snack?" And he always get a funny, and I was like, "Oh my god, how you guys like this?" So
Oh, yeah, I don't understand that. God bless the kids. I mean, but they're different nowadays than when I was growing up for sure. For sure, no question. Um, I love asking this next question here, and that's the top 4. Give me your top 4 bucket list stories or events that you would like to cover in your journalism career.
Ooh. I'm gonna okay, so top 4 you say. So that one's
Mhm.
like the first one. But I would love to cover um I would like to attend to a Grammy ceremony.
Oh yeah.
Because even though like years ago I used to do entertainment and cultural journalism, which is I love, and eventually like one day I can do like a cultural journalism, but like that
Hmm.
attend to a Grammy ceremony. The other one would be um ah, I had to
Mm.
think hard on that. But and I cover even though locally the elections in the United States. Um, let me see what else.
Okay.
Um, hmm.
What about anything sports like? Would you like to ever
Yeah,
cover a sporting event?
probably that's gonna be my top one, but definitely the World Cup.
Oh yes, absolutely.
This one is gonna be played here, so I have probably the chance to do so.
Oh, okay. I like that. You got to let me know how that goes because that's amazing. That would be amazing if
Mm,
you do that.
yeah. So
Okay, so you say World Cup, you say Grammys, you say election, and what else?
I'm just trying to think what would be another story that, oh, I would love to, but again, like, that's gonna take some time. I would like to um, do in a cultural journalism is basically
Hmm.
go to different towns or countries and
Hmm.
how do they get this, how they entertain themselves. Basically,
Okay.
guys do for relaxing or in your downtime. Whether in this community, people like watching sports, they like
Right.
probably they get together and they do these religion ceremonies or these religions events like once or twice a year. So how this community have fun. So
I like that. I think my top four, which I knocked out the Super Bowl this year, so I'll add another one in that place. I definitely want to do the Olympics.
oh yes.
In 28, I would love that. Because it's in my hometown state. I would love to do the World Cup as well. I would love to do an NBA Finals. And I would love to do a national championship game, which is football or basketball. It doesn't matter which one, but I would love to do either one. Because yeah, obviously me being a sports reporter, I'm huge into sports, but just cultural stuff too. I mean, doing something from the Olympics and doing something from the World Cup, that would be amazing. So I would love that.
Definitely.
What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
So many advices. um, huh.
This must be a good question. It got you thinking.
Yes, yes.
Mm,
Because
mm,
believe it or not, I follow a lot of advices that people that are more experienced than I provided to me.
right.
But one that probably many people have told me, maybe in everyone in a different way, is to stick to the ethics and
Okay.
be down to earth. And and I can tell you, if I know that something is, if I let's say if I can modify a story to have
Yeah.
a story there, I just don't do it because I wouldn't feel good with myself knowing that that was not the way it was. So
Right.
I try to get very stuck to the ethics as a journalist, as a person.
Hmm.
Want people to believe what I'm telling them. So also to remain humble. I think that's
Mm, great advice.
yeah, and but also like with my dad, I he also he constantly tell me that I have to think of, that whatever is happening right now is momentaneously, but at the end of the day, I have my family. I have to remember where I come from. That's something that cannot be changed.
Absolutely. Yeah, certainly can't forget about where you come from. Certainly can't forget about what's important, right? You got to keep the most important what is the most important. We love doing this, but we just can't forget about, like I said, the most important for sure. Um, this has been a really dope conversation, Rosabri. It really has. It's been amazing talking to you. I think you're an amazing woman. That goes without saying. Obviously, coming from the DR and having the work ethic, right? To learn a second language, to go to college, graduate with a degree, then go get your master's degree and be able to thrive in this journalism industry. It's certainly not easy. You are someone who definitely needs to be given her roses for the things that you have done and the things that you're going to continue to do. I'm definitely a new fan of yours, and I'm so no, you're welcome. I'm so appreciative. Really, I really am of you coming on to my podcast and talking. And I'm glad that I got a chance to get to know you. My final question to you is there anything else that you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
Um, that I had the blessing to work in my dream job, that I enjoy what I do. that I'm a very accessible person.
Mhm.
So if anyone has a tip, a news tip, or something that wants us to cover it, so please feel free to contact us. Um, I I have a very good relationship with other colleagues in the industry. That's very important to have your network, your connection with, and doesn't and don't look. I don't have a camera person. I'm my own camera person.
Yeah,
So
one man band. Okay.
and I see sometimes that some people might think that because they have a camera person or they have like a production crew, they are the stars and the other ones are just like the other ones. No, I think in this industry, treating everybody equally and is very important. And I have a very good experience with phone talks from other um, TV shows or TV stations. So I think we are a huge, big family. Actually, not huge, but a family in Boston, in the Boston media. There is like a sometimes like some sort of rivalry between some,
Sure.
but
Sure.
no, in the field we all love each other.
I love that. I do. I do. And you have definitely been forthcoming, and you're very accessible, like you said, to reach out to and talk to. I'm hoping that people do. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. You and I will definitely be in touch. Once again, Rosabri, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for thinking about me for this amazing opportunity. And please go to the Dominican Republic, enjoy your time over there. I hope you have a great time. And when people ask me about my country, I think like, well, the Ministry of Tourism should hire me as their PR because I am the most like number one fan of Dominican Republic, and I love promoting my country. So
Okay.
I hope
Okay.
you had a good time over there.
Absolutely. And we will definitely talk about that soon for sure. But you take care. Enjoy your Saturday.
Thank you so much, Chris.